Hi everyone, Manika Singh from Planet. I'm a Senior Director for Merchant and Digital Solutions. Today we've heard so many presentations about bringing every integration partner together to facilitate hospitality. But we're this tiny little company that brings it all together to encourage the guests to actually make the payment so we can actually stay in the hospitality industry. So Planet is a revenue generating payments partner. 30 seconds about us. We're 1,500 global experts. We operate in 70 markets. We're an acquirer in our own right in the UK and in the EEA, but we also partner with over 100 banks and financial institutions across the globe. We process 800 million transactions worth 44 billion for over 600,000 merchants globally. Many of you may have heard of 3C Payments. Leo has also alluded to this. 3C Payments is one of the largest leading hospitality payments gateway in the world. Planet acquired them in May 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic. So we've spent a lot of time during the pandemic integrating 3C with Planet as the acquirer. And what that's brought to us in terms of on the table is a wide range of strategic partnerships with global property management systems and POS providers. And it all comes down to integrations. The more integrations we have, the more we can offer in terms of hospitality. The integration of 3C Payment with Planet has given us the ability to develop more digital services for hospitality industry, but also give us a unique position where we can give the unified customer and guest experience from gateway all the way to acquiring in terms of payments. So single partner, single platform, accepting complex payments, whether online or in person. So a little bit more about Planet. We operate in 5 verticals: hospitality, food and beverage, retail, pure play e-commerce, as well as financial partners. And we have 3 core integrated business lines in terms of how we service our merchants. We provide acquiring and acquiring services. As mentioned, we're an acquirer in the UK, so we're a regulated entity under the FCA. We're a regulated entity in the EEA to cover us off for Brexit by the ACPR in France. But where we're not an acquirer, we work with other financial institutions. So it enables us to actually facilitate that payment experience around the globe for our merchants. On top of that, we have our payment gateway, very much facilitated by 3C Payments, which allows us integrations to property management systems, POS integrations. We support multiple terminal ranges. So we have the PAX terminals, the Ingenicos. PAX are, you'll see them around sea containers, nice, flashy, very smart terminals based on Android. And we have an e-commerce gateway. We layer all these core payment options with value-added services, such as currency conversions, VAT refunds, especially in retail, business intelligence around data, as well as fraud monitoring, which is quite key now as we progress in our digital world. We're quite uniquely placed that we own the end-to-end journey for currency conversion as well as VAT refunds, so this is purely in-house. We support 150 different currencies. We support dynamic currencies, so it enables you to pay in your currency as a guest. So if I'm coming in from the US, paying in the UK, I'm offered it at point of sale in USD, whereas if I'm offering it online, I can have multi-currency as well as dynamic currency. It provides more choice for the customer. So what are we seeing as payments, as a payments company in the hospitality sector? What we're seeing is there are a few mega trends, and some of you have alluded to some of these trends that are dramatically shaping the sector. The first is the digital experience. Pandemic has really accelerated the digital experience. Contactless check-in, digital check-in, but at the same time, we're trying to strive for that personalization of service. So whilst we're going digital, we still want that personalization of service. We have the hygiene and safety factor. Hotels are rethinking layouts. I think someone mentioned, I think it was yourself, Brian, very much, keep the staff separated from the guests, so we're not having that physical contact. So that basically actually impacts some of the payments experience. How do you encourage that? We see a shortage of staff. Again, the rotation of staff. How do you make that work? In the F&B sector where you don't have the staff coming in now, how do you make that seamless payment? How do you enable the payment to happen when you don't have the people to walk around with the terminals? What we are seeing also is, whilst this industry is growing, the more partners you work with, the more integrations you have, there's more complexity. But we're also finding that actually people don't want to have 20 contracts with 20 different suppliers. They want to consolidate. They want to have fewer suppliers, but still have that digital end-to-end experience. So we're finding that there is actually the trend to reduce the number of suppliers you're managing. I mentioned the guest value profiling in terms of personalization of service. We want to know where our guests are spending. We want to know that they've come in, they've used our spa, they've used our facilities at a restaurant, they've gone and used the business center. How do you make sure that you actually get the full value and the end-to-end journey of that customer? Where are they paying? Which property are they paying in? What services are they paying for? And then we're looking at what we're seeing very much the hospitality industry following in terms of the retail footprint. So retail is a bit ahead of the game with payment choices, offering alternative payment methods. They're offering paying in your currency. Hospitality is following suit now. We're seeing that more and more hotels and more merchants want to offer the ability for guests to pay in their currency, so they become more easy to spend the money. Pay in your own payment option, whether it's Alipay, WeChat, Apple Pay, Google Pay. There's also the ability to buy now, pay later. That's becoming quite big in the hospitality sector, especially in resorts. So all these trends are shaping how things are moving on in terms of payments and hospitality. So Planet is using these trends, and we are building a digital payment solution for our guests. We're offering smoother and safer digital payments through greater convenience and choice by integrating payment options, multiple currencies, into our standard offering. So we've integrated Alipay, WeChat, Apple Pay, Google Pay. We're offering alternative payment options that are both online and offline, that just basically enables the customer, the guest, to spend their money much more freely and easily. We're also able to track the customer journey across all the channels, and we do this by opening up the ability to book online, pay when you come into check-in, and we are able to actually follow that customer journey throughout, end to end. And we have a group of people who work within our organization who can actually work in terms of partnership with the merchant. So the way we do this is we work with you to say, right, what are your needs in payments? We have a core proposition, but we know that every hotel has different segment that they're targeting, so how can we fulfill those requirements? So we find that actually a lot of you have spoken about the different journeys that are actually progressing through the pandemic. We know that the customer is key. So we at Planet put the customer and the guest in the middle of our journey. And what we've realized is actually the customer has multiple touch points. And a lot of you have mentioned it, booking through the app, paying when you're in the room. We want to pay with multiple currencies. We want to pay with different types of currencies. We want to spend in the spa, but we want to be able to sort of, use the internet in the room and pay for it, but without actually going to the front desk or, online or through the app. It becomes quite complex. How do you bring together all those elements, whether it is aircon control or whatever it is? If you are making all those payments, all those different touch points, you don't want to have different partners paying for different things. And how do you simplify it? Planet can do this. We encompass all this by working with different partners as well as ourselves. So we've got this entire end-to-end customer journey through our gateway, through our acquiring system. We work to seamlessly integrate with partners such as Nonius, such as Oracle, such as other POS providers. And what we do is we build with flexibility the ability to actually enable that end-to-end customer journey, making it very easy for our merchants to have a single payment provider for both online and in-property payments, integrated to the PMS. We use tokenization to secure the payment, so removing the merchant from PCI scope, which is quite a large burden, both commercially as well as operationally for merchants. We remove them from PCI scope. We take on the compliance headache, and we simplify that journey and make it very, very simple for our merchants. So a little bit about what we're doing with our friends here at Nonius and C Containers. With C Containers, we've got a long-standing relationship. We've implemented our PAX terminals with them at front desk. We've got Alipay and WeChat integrations with them. We've got Pay at Table. We've got now coming very soon an integration with Nonius and for digital pre-auth, which will basically have a very seamless journey where you can book online through the app, and then when you come in, you don't have to represent your card, so you can walk in, have that contactless experience where you can go into the room and then actually check in seamlessly without representing your cards. Any top-ups, any completions will happen seamlessly, so that customer journey becomes seamless, contactless, but at the same time we'll know exactly where your customer is, how you can track your guest, and what elements they can do. You can book your spa treatments, you can order and pay for food through this app, and we can also save a lot of time in admin. Another feature that's coming through is sending pay by links to guests for pay, for example, if they're calling up to book, to remove yourself from that PCI scope, to simplify that journey. Send them a payment link, they make the payment, that reservation gets posted straight into the PMS. So that's all fully integrated and coming very shortly. So what we wanted to just stress here is, whilst you have all these different endpoints and touch points, having a single provider, single contract, simplifying that payments journey makes a huge difference to the guest experience. And that's quite key, because the last thing you want to do is, book online, have a different experience, come into the merchant and have a different experience. We want that to be seamless. We want our merchants to have a completely simple way to make sure that their customers are spending money within their organization to have a fulfilling stay and saving that costly experience. And just a quick quote from yourself, Paul, here, that we wanted to quote. It is very much about reimagining that guest journey. We are putting the guest in the middle, and with our guest, as our guest is in the middle, so is our merchant. So we wanted to thank you for the time today. Thanks very much.